All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA DFS live stream. We have you covered here with the Sunday slate, and we already have some questions coming in that kind of, I think, sum up kind of the slate here, guys. It's going to be a pretty interesting slate. So, Luka too expensive to play with his groin issue. What are your initial thoughts there? We're kind of mentioning how the Lakers, it's going to be an interesting spot with them.
Yeah, super interesting. Obviously, that game on an island of its own tonight. We'll have to wait and see. I think if Luka does play, he's going to look pretty appealing in tournaments, but big news there. LeBron and Aiden are also questionable. So very interesting spot there.
And then we got a question. Any interest in three Bulls point guards? The Bulls point guards, whatever. Either way, I think that works. I mean, Kobe White, Trey Jones, or Ao, I'm assuming there, maybe even Kevin Huerter. I'm somewhat interested in all of them because they all could kind of go off, but relying on being able to pick which one does go off is kind of tough.
Yeah, I think Kobe White's probably the safest. Also the chalkiest here, but I'd go Kobe White number one. And then I think Ao and Trey Jones are pretty close for me. Did you have a strong lean towards either one?
No, Ao just I would want to be on him more, but we only project for 25 minutes, so just not really worth it.
Yeah, I'm with you. And then potential value opening up later. Probably just Kobe White mainly for me.
Then we have an interesting comment here from Luke. So my night last night was actually pretty interesting. My generated lineups were all pretty bad, honestly. I had four that were I did 20 entry max. I did four that were maybe had a chance. And then my single entry lineups that I did was just one lineup, did pretty darn well. So it's kind of a weird night in the sense of generated lineups did not do well for me personally. And then the just logical hand builds seem to do better, which just kind of a weird night with the Indiana Pacers chalk. And I will say, I kind of mentioned Cam Jones as a play last night, which was the correct play. He got the minutes, he got the shot attempts up. He just sucked as well with all the Pacers. So that's always annoying when you're kind of correct about a spot. The player just bad.
Yeah, man, Indiana was rough last night. Hopefully we can bounce back today. I know we got a lot of good plays.
Well, they all pretty much hit their value. And, we have a play here in this opening game that I think will hit value. And that's going to be Danny Wolf here for Brooklyn with Michael Porter Jr. out. He is extreme chalk as well here. So what are the chances that Danny Wolf ends up pulling the Pacers? So the Pacers plays, the values that were on besides Jay Huff, which I did not like, they all kind of did what they had to do as value plays. First and foremost, do you think Danny Wolf will do that? And then secondly, do you think he'll exceed that at all?
100%, man. This is the one piece of value early I feel very confident in. Super good price, does have the ceiling. Love Danny Wolf. He's by far my favorite play here for Brooklyn. I did want to hear your take on Clowney. I highlighted him a couple sites ago. He nuked. I think he's pretty good at his price as well. What are your thoughts here with the rest of Brooklyn?
Yeah, so Clowney, I'm fine getting to. He's tough because obviously he did come in off of a good game. He is getting the minutes as well. It's a good matchup. I'm fine getting to him. Kind of my prototypical shoulder shrug play. I'm happy to play him if we get to him. Same thing with Claxton as well. I think they're kind of along the same lines there. Cam Thomas, he with Porter out, he should be the one that kind of goes off. He just hasn't been playing all too well. The play that I don't mind, and he's someone I hope to get off of if we can, but right now I kind of like Nolan, and I'm not going to say his last name. The minutes have been there, again, 20 plus minutes, and we haven't projected for 22. Priced at 3.3 on DraftKings, he's too cheap. Now, the model doesn't necessarily say he's a great value, and he's coming in at 9% owned. And so I'm kind of seeing that, and maybe my initial thoughts were probably still correct, but now based off the fact that he's 9% owned, maybe not someone I necessarily want to get to, because to me, for him not being the best value, maybe a little bit too high owned. And again, we could be getting some really good value in the later games.
Yeah, and then another kind of spin-off question off of that. Tyrese Martin projected to be super chalky. Schroeder could be a pivot off of him as well if you like the ownership discount there. But what are your thoughts on him down there?
He's clearly mispriced, but it's kind of the exact same thing that I was just saying. At least he has a better value rating, and so we like that. But we haven't projected for 20 minutes. That's not enough. So I'm kind of okay fading some of the early chalk here. Even Danny Wolf, I think he's a great value, and I would definitely want to be on him. But 54% could end up being too high as well. And I kind of agree with it, but we could be getting some really good late night value as well. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and then Terrence Mann, he's the other guy I was kind of skeptical of. 3,700. I think there's a chance he could not start as well. Another guy that I'm kind of hesitant. What are your thoughts on him?
I like him a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, we probably should be playing two of the Brooklyn plays. I'm a little bit more comfortable getting to him just really due to the small forward and shooting guard eligibility. But I don't feel like I have to play him.
Yeah, I think Danny Wolf is like definitely the sure thing here, and then the rest of the team kind of just mixing them. I do like Clowney more than the field here. I think still another good spot.
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to get to 5x, and then obviously has a chance to go for 7x, so not terrible.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of this game, we already kind of talked about Chicago a little bit here, but Kobe White is pulling in some ownership. I actually really like the idea of getting to Jalen Smith. I like that earlier in the day a little bit more when it's seen. Oh, is Patrick Williams out? Is that confirmed?
Yes, I believe so. Let me double check that.
Okay, so I actually like this a decent amount. We have him projected for 17 right now, so that's probably just updating. But if he is out, I mean, Jalen Smith to me becomes a very appealing play at 5.8 and 5.3, multiple position eligibility on FanDuel. We have him projected for 26 minutes. I think he has the potential to, I think he got, let me check his minutes here. I think he got 35 minutes in the last game. I mean, if we get 30 plus minutes out of him, I think he could be a pretty strong GPP upside type play.
Yeah, 100%, man. Coming off a huge game, and they kind of need his size out there when they can. So, love getting there in tournaments.
Do you have any interest in anyone else? I know we talked about the guards. What about Matas or Vucevic?
Matas coming off a huge game. I think both him and Vuce are fine as tournament stops. I don't necessarily love either one. I think I'd still lean Matas if I'm picking between the two in this game environment. But what are your thoughts there between those two?
Kind of indifferent, to me, it's like Jalen Smith is kind of the play I want to get to now, and then maybe two plays from Brooklyn. But overall, I kind of like the idea of trying to wait and potentially get to some pretty elite value in the later games.
Yeah, I'm with you. None of these guys like stick off the page. I think Kobe White, Jalen Smith, probably my favorites, but none of these guys are like priorities, I think.
Yeah. So we'll jump into the other early game here, which all in all, I kind of think this game is not as appealing as well. We got the Pelicans versus Houston, 14.5 point spread. That's part of the lack of appeal for me. 232.5 game total. So we do like that. Starting with the Pels, with everyone kind of being healthy. I mean, Alvarado's still out, Murray's still out, and Herbert Jones is still out, but Bay's active, Fears good to go, Murphy's good to, like the players that have been in and out of the lineup lately are all good to go. And so we are seeing the ownership kind of be spread out. Maybe Fears is a little bit too low price, maybe Bay's a little bit too low price, but Murphy and Zion, sure, for GPPs, they're fine. And maybe they're coming in a little bit too low on DraftKings, but overall, I don't see that many good plays here.
100% agreed, Eric. 15-point spread, obviously, as well, in favor of Houston here. Just a tough spot. I think I'd almost rather go to the value here if I was going to take a stab. Maybe like a Jordan Poole off the bench, needing his shot attempts to stay in the game here. So, I don't know, man. I don't love this spot. Like Zion and Murphy, sure, they're probably the ones that keep them in the game. But I just don't love the matchup and spot.
And Zion's just been so inconsistent lately as well, and such a high price tag to take that risk. But I mean, we're gonna have to pay up for someone on this slate with Luka questionable, LeBron questionable later. Like we'll and Avdia questionable. Like we'll see who we're trying to pay up for here. Yeah. We'll jump into Houston. We'll see. Like, are there any plays here for Houston that you want to pay up for? Sengun is somewhat chalky. KD's somewhat appealing, and then Thompson on FanDuel's a little bit appealing as well.
Yeah, definitely love this spot much more, Eric. Very good spot for Houston here. I think both Sengun and KD look great as spend-ups. No issues with either one. So love getting to both those guys. Heyman Thompson, I feel like we've both kind of been under on him the last times we talked about him. He's fine. I'd rather get to KD and Sengun. And then Jabari Smith, 6,500. I think he's better on FanDuel. What are your thoughts here with the Houston Rockets?
I have gone to a little bit of Sengun, not too much, but it's mostly just due to having the salary left over in certain spots where it's just, I need to pay up for a center. All right, we're going with Sengun. It's kind of just, that's the move I've went with. Although plenty of spots where I've like had Clowney or Wolf power forward center combo, which is kind of weird now that I think about it. But I'm fine with it. I kind of think we have to pay up for somebody, and so I'm fine paying up for KD as well.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just a good spot. Like I know it's a 15-point spread, but New Orleans is horrible on defense. So
And they're both getting pretty good DK value range as well. I mean, they're the top two on the slate in this game here at 13.3 and 13.4. Who Jabari is popping up a little bit there as well, but that gets me a little bit more excited to play them.
Yep, agreed.
All right, so we'll jump on into Charlotte versus Denver, guys. We're easing our way into the crazy parts of the later games here. So we got news that Diabe's probable here, and so he was out in the last game. And with that, we are seeing Brandon Miller be chalk, and I kind of agree with it, but at the same time, it's always kind of a guessing game as to whether it be Miles Bridges, Khan, LaMelo. Even Colin Sexton can get there in some spots. Where are you at here with Charlotte?
Yeah, so very interesting spot here with Brandon Miller, super chalky. As of right now, before all this news is broken, I think I'm okay with eating the chalk. Pretty good spot, pretty good price. So do like him, good chunk here. So that's kind of my take. The rest of Charlotte, I don't necessarily love outside of Miller. So did you like anyone else here from Charlotte, or is it just Miller?
I mean, my kind of rule with Khan is that when he's coming in off of a good game, don't be on him the next game. And so, no, then. But I mean, it would be surprising to see him play well. It's just we just saw him have a really good ceiling game where he shot the basketball extremely well, 4 for 5 from 3. And so he's arguably too cheap as well, but kind of holding that same logic. He's a tougher click. But if he's not going off, maybe that increases the likelihood for LaMelo Ball to go off. I mean, we could be getting 50 plus points out of him at 8K. I mean, I don't mind the idea of getting to him a little bit. Again, we're going to have to pay up for someone who's coming in at 4% owned. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I think for GPP purposes, he should be probably 10% owned. So maybe a little bit of leverage there. Other than that, not too much.
Yep, agreed. I think Khan is totally fine to take stabs at too. Half the ownership. So if you don't like Miller, fine with Khan as a pivot there.
Mm-hmm. And so we'll jump on into Denver here. So Denver... let's see. We are waiting on news as to whether or not Aaron Gordon's going to be active in this game. So listed questionable with a hamstring injury. And then we do know that Braun's out, Johnson's out, Jokic is out, J Val's out as well. And then Bruce Brown and Jamal Murray both probable for tonight. And so we see the players that are projected for minutes. It is pretty top heavy here. So Gordon projected for 31 minutes, Jamal Murray 37, Peyton Watson 35, and then even Tim Hardaway Jr. at 3.7. Where are you at here with Denver?
Yeah, so huge news there. With AG 6,700. I think he's in play if he does get ruled inactive here. But the guy I'm getting to the most, Jamal Murray, sub 30% here. I think he looks like a pretty good play here against Charlotte. So fine with Murray. I think obviously AG is fine as well, but Murray's the guy I'm getting to here the most.
I will say I kind of like Denver too much tonight, I think, but hopefully that is working out. Like Peyton Watson, I'm perfectly fine getting to, especially if Gordon were to be out. So I kind of don't mind just playing Watson, hoping for that. But kind of with how lineups could come about, like that might not even matter. We're getting to some pieces with the early game, but you could still make your lineup work and pivot off of Watson if Gordon is active. But I kind of like all of them. I like Gordon, I like Murray, I like Watson, I like Hardaway a decent amount. I think Hardaway is too cheap for his projected minutes. And I think Murray, we've seen the ceiling. He's been going off. Gordon feels like a pretty safe play. So I like my hand builds got like 3 of them in like all of them. I did like 5 hand builds. And then I'm trying to see the lineups that I've done generation wise, and not too much exposure there. So a lot of Jamal Murray, and that's basically it. A ton of Jamal Murray.
Yeah, I love it. You're talking my language, Eric. I'm a huge Nuggets fan. Great spot here. And then even better, like you mentioned, if Gordon misses. So I love that shout on Peyton Watson here as well. Low owned. Love it.
Yeah, he is low owned, and it's not like he's gotten into foul trouble the last couple of games, and it's not like he's been bad either. I mean, 34 DFS points last night. We want him to do more than what he's been doing, but still 21 points. I mean, we've seen him have 40-point nights not too long ago, so I don't mind it in a close game as well.
Yep, great call. I love it.
All right, so we'll jump on into we'll start with Portland here. So Portland, I'm just going to read off the list here. So Denny Avdia, questionable. Grant, doubtful. Holiday, doubtful. Robert Williams now doubtful, and then Murray's still out as well. So, I mean, what the heck do we do with Portland?
Yeah, man, totally dependent on the news here, just like you mentioned. So I think it's pretty likely we could see Denny miss here. 15% owned if he does play. I think he's fine if he plays. But I think Shaden, Sharp, and Clingan both look really good in this spot, especially if Denny misses. So love getting to those two. And then outside of that, like Caleb Love getting some ownership here, it doesn't feel great. He's been way better the past few games. But what are your thoughts here with the Trailblazers?
I'm actually kind of the opposite. I like Caleb Love. The issue is, do we even need to get to Caleb Love on this slate? I know the data doesn't like him as well. And so it's kind of one of those spots where maybe I was just wrong. But I don't know. Per 36 wise, he's someone that does benefit a decent amount with Avdia off the court. And so maybe that's the caveat. We currently have Avdia in for projected minutes. He's truly questionable. And so, yeah, maybe if Avdia plays, that makes Caleb Love not as useful. But Drew Holiday's still out. So I'm actually surprised that the data doesn't like some of these plays a little bit more. Cisco is kind of popping up as a decent value at 3.8, getting some chalk. But other than that, like Avdia is fine, Clingan's fine, and Sharp is fine. Do you think that would go up if Avdia was out? Like would Sharp and Clingan be better plays?
I think so. Yeah, I think the assist rates for Sharp and maybe some more shot attempts for Clingan, I think it definitely go up, and it's a very soft matchup as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the 3-point spread. That's pretty interesting. Like, does that even matter if Avdia plays? Do you how much like would it become a 7.5 point spread? And kind of that's telling to me. I think it's saying that Avdia's probably going to play.
yeah, maybe it could be a little bit wider, but yeah, I think it's probably closer that he plays. But I still think there's some reason to build for him out. Like I think there's a good chance.
Yeah. Okay. We'll jump on into the Kings then. And so for the Kings, they got Sabonis back. We have him projected for where's he at? 25 minutes. Okay. So is that enough for him on FanDuel specifically, where he's power forward and center eligible?
Yeah, it seems kind of thin, Eric. I did want to hear your take. 4% owned. I don't necessarily love it. Did you have a different thought here?
I don't mind it on FanDuel specifically, just with the multiple position eligibility. I'm fine being overweight on him. I don't think you need to go crazy with it, but again, like 10%, maybe power forward spot. I know we're getting a lot of decent power forward plays. I don't mind that. There's a chance that he just goes off and that gets he would need to get a double. It's like very close. I was looking at the Vegas lines. I think they had him at like 9.5 rebounds. So getting the double would be pretty huge there. But other than that, I will say I don't necessarily love any of the Sacramento plays because I feel like they're all too priced up still.
Yeah, right there with you. Westbrook, DeRozan, I think they're both fine to take stabs at in 150, but it's just not a spot I love getting to with all the other good value and spend notes we have. So I'm with you.
All right, so we'll jump on into the Toronto versus Lakers game. We'll start with Toronto just because we got a little bit more of confirmation with them. So quickly is still questionable. Okay, so that's like the one piece of news that we are waiting on for him. They say he at least has a chance to return tonight after a 2-game absence, so we'll see. And then after that, Barrett's still out, Chucky Hepburn's out, Walter's out, and then Jakob Poeltl is still out as well. Battle active for what it's worth. I don't think we care too much about that, though. And so we are seeing some pretty heavy minutes for a lot of Toronto with not too high of ownership. So where are you at here with Toronto?
Yeah, I feel like Toronto in this game kind of overall getting under-owned. I think it's a decent spot. Like Lakers, not the best defensive team. Quickly, if he plays, I think he's in play. Scotty Barnes, he's the one I wanted to talk about here. Pretty low owned on DK. I know the price point is up there, but he's been pretty solid for Toronto here. And then Brandon Ingram as well. Decent ownership, decent price. What are your thoughts here with the big three overall?
I'm struggling with them just in the sense that it quickly plays. I like Barnes and Ingram a little bit less, but obviously if quickly plays or sits, then Barnes and Ingram become much more intriguing to me. And so I think it could be worth the risk of just hoping that quickly sits, and then you're paying up for Barnes and Ingram. And again, we're going to have some salary to be able to pay up. I don't hate that idea. Again, I'm more on Denver tonight, which could end up being wrong. But this could be a leverage spot. It easily could be a very good leverage spot.
Yeah, I'm with you. And we have enough, I think, plays in the late game. Like, I think it's likely one of Luka or LeBron plays. So there's other guys to spend up as well on the other side.
And I did want to ask you about the difference between the minutes for Colin Murray Bowles and Sandro. We have, it's like a 10, 11 minute difference here between the two. And so Colin Murray Bowles is currently popping up as one of the better values, even at 6K. Is he someone that's on your radar at all tonight?
Man, I want him to be like, I love him as a DFS producer. Just with so many good forward plays today, like Aaron Gordon's around his price point as well. Just doesn't feel like a great spot to attack at 6K. Like look at the game logs here, like 52, but mostly around 30.
Yeah.
So just not a spot I love for ceiling at his price.
I like the call. I think you're right. Aaron Gordon probably a little bit safer. He ends up playing.
Yeah.
All right, and so then we'll get into the Lakers. So it is going to be a little bit difficult to break them down because, well, Luka is currently questionable and LeBron is currently questionable. We know that Reeves is still out. It actually seems more like Luka could sit with that groin issue, but then I kind of feel like LeBron would play, even though it's the back end of a back-to-back, but also maybe LeBron sits and Luka plays. We obviously want to prepare for this game and potentially really be on LeBron if Luka's out, or be on Luka if LeBron's out. And so it's a weird one here.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Aiden's questionable as well, so potentially more value centers. Jackson Hayes down here, a couple of value centers. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Luka probably sits back to back here. But yeah, I think LeBron's probably the guy I want to get to here the most. Good price point. He's been pretty good. So like LeBron in tournaments. And then really I just got to wait on Aiden's news. So did you have a different take here?
I think it was confirmed Aiden is good to go. He wasn't on the injury report. Yeah, he's good to go. Okay. This is going to sound weird. I kind of wish LeBron was higher priced, just in the sense that if Luka's out, we could just go to LeBron and not be leaving, over $2,000 left over in a weird way. I feel like if we're playing, I guess we need to play like probably 3 players from this team, or what's the salary difference here between like the Toronto kind of plays that we could be on or the Lakers? I would want to have a combination like that where maybe you're playing Luka and I don't know who's popping up value wise here. I don't like Marcus Smart, but Marcus Smart, for example, you play those two, and then if you need to, you can pivot to maybe Barnes and Ingram or something like that. I feel like that's kind of the route to go. Obviously, you'd prefer to get to Luka, but this is what makes the slate difficult. And I do think it makes sense to make lineups in accordance to hoping that we get some pretty slate breaking news. Either way, though, I think they're both decent plays regardless if they're active. But we're kind of hoping that one sits.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you probably should build a 2v2 out, maybe a 3v3 to just be able to pivot like you mentioned. And specifically the utility on DK, huge for this game. Definitely put these guys in that utility so you can pivot.
Yeah. Here, we'll try to give a first look build here then. Let me just refresh the data just to see if there's any updates. I know like with Patrick Williams, I just want to see if Jalen Smith's popping up because I feel like he is someone I really like, and I just want to see if people are going to get to him. Data's still not getting to him too much. Ownership-wise, Danny Wolf, Brandon Miller's still pretty chalky, and Martin and Murray still chalky as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Jalen Smith getting some ownership now too. Sorry.
No, you're good. I still think he's a great play, even at 28%. So 55% on FanDuel. Like, look at the difference there. It's huge.
Yeah. So do you want to put him in a build with like Wolf and Miller? Is that fine?
Yeah, let's do it. I like it.
Okay. I already put Miller in there because I kind of agreed with that. So
yeah,
as you were talking, and the chalk. What are your thoughts on Murray? Are you fine playing him as well?
Yeah, I was just about to mention. I think Murray's probably the top Denver play overall here.
Okay. And then would you want to get to Gordon then and kind of just be fine if we need to pivot?
Yeah, I think Gordon's completely fine here. Yeah, totally fine with that.
All right, so then we have the shooting guard, and utility spot still left open. We could punt to some of the value that we're getting, like Martin is chalky, as we mentioned. DK value-wise, let's see. Man is a little bit of a better value, a little bit lower owned. Sengun is someone that actually pops up as a decent value on the slate. Clowney, I know you like him. Do you want to play him?
Yeah, let's get Clowney in there. I just think even without MPJ, I don't think I think Claxton's more affected without MPJ than Clowney is. So we can plug him in if we can fit him.
Yeah, we'll just have to. I think we'd want to put. Yeah, probably just in the forward spot here. It's obviously not foolproof here, but obviously Gordon, the utility. Then if we need to adjust, we can.
Yeah,
because I do like. It's weird. I think Luka would go off tonight, if he's active. So it's weird. It's a weird slate with that.
Yeah. Did you want to build for any Portland guys? I know Sharp is pretty chalky. Did you like Caleb Love? I don't know if he's shooting guard eligible.
I do like Caleb Love, but again, I like him more if Avdia's out. We can put Sharp in there for now, and I think that's fine. And then we have 4.4 left over. Let's see what guard we can get to. Ooh, that gets ugly at the end there.
Yeah.
I don't mind Terrence Mann. We're leaving $700 left over, though.
Yeah, it's the Brooklyn value is so hard, man. With Tyrese Martin could go out there and be horrible. That's the thing is he's not guaranteed to crush.
I know. It is weird with just looking at kind of the guard spot in general. I feel like the move is to pay up, and then Murray, maybe Sharp, because or you're going with the deep value here with Mann, with Nolan, or with Martin.
Let's Nick, just for this build, let's go down to Martin at the guard spot. Let's take out Clowney. Let's put AG back in that power forward and see what we can get at utility.
Yeah.
Because I like this build a lot.
It is. I think it's a solid base here. Clean Yang, I'd be fine with. Smith, I'd be fine with.
I love that. Yeah. Clean's good. I think all those guys. Shabari's good low on. So any of those guys.
Do you want to try one here with Luka in there instead?
Let's do it. Yeah. I'm down.
Okay. I wish Luka was shooting guard eligible. I think we're just putting Martin in the shooting guard spot, and then we could put Luka in the guard spot, and then just see where we need to pivot here. Obviously, we don't have enough salary here. Who would you want to get off of the most? Because I still kind of want to play Murray because I just think he has that upside. Would you want to get off of Smith, Gordon, or Brandon Miller?
Ooh, I think let's get off Gordon for this one, just because I think for maximizing Murray's ceiling, let's. Is there any cheaper forwards you like?
There was I don't mind Mann. I think he's fine. Cisco's. I don't think terrible for Portland. I think that's fine. I think there's plenty of decent plays. Let's see what the data is saying here, just so I'm not missing anyone. It does like Mann. Okoro actually decently. Yeah, which do you have a preference there?
I think Mann probably. Let's just throw Mann in for now. He's as of right now. I think he's probably the best value player. Okay,
and then 5.2 left over. Let's see what we end up on. Clowney. There we go.
It's a lot of Brooklyn, but they're depleted.
Too much Brooklyn probably, but it's a good matchup. It's a very good matchup against Chicago.
Hey, Nick Morrow would be happy with us right now. Plenty of Brooklyn.
No, he's watching us pulling out his hair right now. He's like, "What are you guys doing? Come on now." And let's see. I want to see if we missed out on any questions here. Kind of finished a little bit earlier today. So we'll take this question. Why is Martin so chalky? Per 36 wise, I believe he got the most minutes with Michael Porter Jr. off the court, and Cam Thomas has been struggling. He's projected to get only 20 minutes. And so that's kind of the interesting part. He is too cheap. He's clearly too cheap. He could easily 5X, at his price tag. But the question is, I don't know, does he have a higher ceiling than kind of what he's maybe expected to get? I know I just realized I put in the wrong Martin, but oh well. What are your thoughts on Martin? Just to recap,
it's just you mentioned it. He's $3K. We don't have a ton of value as of 6 Eastern. So obviously this could change in an hour, 2 hours. But as of right now, he looks like one of the best cheap plays. So $3K flat, he could get 15 to 20. That's kind of how I'd break it down.
Yeah. Let's see here. So which Martin? Yeah, I messed up. It's the Brooklyn Martin. Apologies there. And then we got Unicorn Love saying that Gordon is playing, so that does make tonight a little bit easier. Let's see. Ooh, someone's saying that they like Westbrook tonight. I know you kind of mentioned you thought he could be a decent GPP option.
Yeah, I think you could get there. I don't necessarily love it with all the other good spend ups and mid tier plays we have. But if you want to take a stab, I think it's fine. Not a spot I love though.
Mm-hmm. Here's an interesting question, then we'll get to the one above it. Cam Thomas, so like per 36 wise, he crushes it. Like points wise, just insane. If we knew he was going to get like 10 more minutes, I'd be all for it. He's just hasn't been really producing, and it seems a little bit too risky, especially now that he's gained some love ownership wise.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like 5,600, we really need him to crush in his minutes. He can definitely get his shot attempts up, but we're hoping he makes them in 25 minutes. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. That's what sucks though. If he maybe he's hot and he gets extended run, like that would not be fun to miss out on a big night from him.
Yeah.
Let's do this question. So FanDuel Core, the issue is that it's kind of the same as DraftKings tonight. I like we're seeing the chalk here. I kind of agree with the chalk. Smith, Wolf, Murray, Miller. I don't think you have to deviate really from that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a pretty good chalk for, and I'm with you. I like all those guys.
Do you want to sort it by FanDuel value real quick? Jabari Smith is the best value, which I find interesting. I mean, he is a little too cheap there on FanDuel, so he's only 22%, so not a bad play as well. Multiple position eligibility makes him appealing as well.
Yeah, man, I have a sweet spot in my heart for Jabari Smith. He's always low owned, and he did it for me the other night, so I like it a lot, especially on FanDuel.
All right. So this is interesting. So yeah, if Quickly is out, I wouldn't mind Sheed, but I think with how lineups are going to go tonight, I don't know. You could get to him. Like if you have to get to him off of a pivot, off of a lineup that you did, if LeBron gets ruled out and you're kind of the roster construction leads you to Sheed, I would be happy with it. But I think you would rather get to Ingram and Scotty Barnes. But I don't know where you at with him. We didn't mention this. Like, do you like Sheed or Grady Dick at all?
Yeah, so Sheet here, it's difficult, right? Because that's late news. We're probably not going to get that till after these other games logged. And he's almost up to 6K now, so we need probably close to 30. I don't even know if he gets near that if Quickly plays. So I'm a little bit less. So I think that ownership's a little bit too high for me on FanDuel.
Okay. That's fair. Dron Sharp's fine for GPPs as well. So that's fine. Don't eat the Miller chalk. I mean, he is too cheap. I will say, like, they do tend to. It could be anyone's night, like for Charlotte, and like it could be Khan. It could be Ball. As I mentioned, I kind of think Ball, you should be overweight on him tonight just with his upside. And if you think it's not going to be a Miller night, you probably want to do that. One of those two at least. Where are you at with Miller?
Yeah, it's just I get like the wanting to get away from him. It's just a good price point. I guess he probably would be a good spot to get away if you don't have the conviction there. I think in this spot it's a good matchup, good price. I just like the matchup and price here mainly.
And here's a good call out as well. Yeah, Grady Dick probably does take a little bit of a downgrade with Battle being active, and obviously if Quickly is good to go, really not in play at all.
Yep, perfect.
All right, so any final thoughts here as I kind of refresh the data, just make sure any news isn't popping up in here that we might have missed?
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty good here. I think Brooklyn, outside of Wolf, just take stabs. I think Martin was our second most confident, and then maybe build a little bit for the late games. Obviously, we have a bunch of news to break there, but yeah.
This is just a funny comment. What Smith, Jabari, or Jalen? Both. The answer is both, especially on FanDuel. Both pretty appealing. I will say just real quickly, the Luka ownership only at 15%. I get it, but that's pretty appealing because if we knew he was playing, I think he would be like 40%.
Yep. 100%, Eric. Love that spot in tournaments.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. Wish we could give you confirmation on the news. Obviously, we can't. So just make sure your lineups have a little bit of leeway with some of the late night games. We are still waiting on the Abdia, Luka, and LeBron news. So just be making sure you're making your lineups accordingly. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Good luck.